I want to start first with what does it look like to set a standard for accountability and transparency that's maybe not existed before and is probably unfairly placed upon us, but it is still an opportunity to do something different? Because to be honest, I want to know who's digging into United Way's 990s, who's digging into these philanthropic organizations, these foundations who only give away 5% of their budgets a year.
Yep.
But comes first for the Black-led organization that we know got money. Hello, ACLU, y'all got money. But nobody's asking for their 990s.
That's right.
And so this is still an opportunity.
Yes.
It is a painful opportunity that comes at a cost. But what is the opportunity to set a new standard for transparency and accountability that hopefully will be willing to ask across the board and not just of the Black woman-led organization that seems to always be setting the new standards?
That's exactly right. It's a really good question. I think, first of all, number one, I actually did not know what 990s were before all of this happened.
It's confusing.
So part of the opportunity here is to educate our folks. Like, something's being weaponized against us that many people don't even know and honestly don't care about.
I didn't know about them until they started asking us for them for COVID relief funds. I said, you need my 990. I had to call the accountant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the accountant handled that. Like, I don't know what that is. It is such a trip now to hear the word, the term 990s. I'm like, ugh, it's like triggering.
April 15th is next week.
But what, I feel like there's many opportunities here. One, to talk about Black-led institutions.
Yes.
And the history of them, especially Black radical institutions. Down in Los Angeles, the Panther Party had a nonprofit called Community Services Unlimited. Most people don't realize that many of our Black Power movements had nonprofits because that's how they were able to do the free breakfast program and things like that. And so I think it's a great opportunity to be like, the right-wing media they don't get to co-opt our work and what we've done for so long. And so this seems like an interesting moment to really talk about Black-led orgs. It also feels like a really important opportunity to talk about why our organizations get under attack first, why they are the first ones to be challenged, and there's an opposition to them. And I also think it's a great opportunity to talk about what we're trying to build. Like, for a long time, I'm not at Black Lives Matter anymore. I left last year, but for a long time, we weren't a nonprofit on purpose. We took 7 years to become an actual 501c3. And these 2 short years, not even 2 years yet, that we've been an actual 501c3, it's been so under attack.
And I think that's why so many folks avoid the nonprofit industrial complex.
That's exactly right.
When we think about our movements for Black liberation, in order to serve community, quote unquote, legally, too often do we get pushed or forced into a system that is actually meant to attack us and limit the capacity and the reach of our work.
That's exactly
and
right.
so I think we have to start questioning those institutions.
That's exactly right. Yes, there has been so much clarity for me, a questioning for me. I don't know if I have clarity or answers yet, but I'm like, wow, this doesn't seem safe for us. This 990 structure, this nonprofit system structure, this is like deeply unsafe. Like, this is being literally weaponized against us, against the people we work with. I can't tell you how many people are like, am I next? Like, are they gonna do this to me? So there's not a lot of, that's like, when you know this, you run an organization, like, people's morale in an organization is so important.
Yes.
But if their organization and the people in it are being attacked and scrutinized at everything they do, that leads to deep burnout. That leads to deep resistance and trauma. And so I think that other piece for me around, what I think is important for people to understand is, and it's connected to this question, but there is a misinformation and disinformation effort to not just challenge Black Lives Matter and the organization, but it's an experiment. If they win, then it's the next Black-led organization.
Yes, it is.
And then it's the next Black-led organization, and it's the next Black person who's leading that. And so it's so important that we pay attention to what's happening, and we don't allow for, they have this they know what they're doing, like how to create the infighting, how to create the distrust. We have to stop it. We have to stop it before they do it. We have to shut it down. We have to be showing up against it. And so that has been really important to me too, like taking the time to kind of stand back and watch it happening and being like, oh, this is how this works. Like we are literally the experiment right now.